Good morning, Facebook.
Good morning.
What?
Hi, everybody.
Welcome.
Welcome.
We're actually, if you're gonna see Gigi and I sharing screens today because we are actually in the Poconos.
Yes, we had a little council meeting with our Forest Hills office at EXP.
We were just missing Israel.
I know he didn't want to come and ski.
Miss you.
It was 7 degrees Fahrenheit this morning.
Yeah,
it was pretty interesting. So
wait.
Wait for him to come on. We're gonna have the very famous Sekou Pyle, who is also with the organization at EXP, and he's actually a coach, a trainer. He has those wonderful, what is it called? Commitment to Camping group in Facebook. He has, which is open to anyone. He has also the Appointment Academy, which could be also open to anyone, right? Which is a 5-day program. And he does a lot of basically helping agents with their business. He was a coach at his former franchise before. And he's a little superstar. Right. So we discuss, just like what the title says, Fire Your Landlord, with Sekou. Let me see, should we remove that banner or just wait until it comes on? All right.
What banner? Yeah, it's okay.
Anyway, just let me put in the comments. Make sure that you guys, I'm gonna say hi to everybody. Yeah, I'll make sure I type up in English. That would be good.
Imagine. Oh boy.
Yeah.
So the cool thing about it, I mean, this Fire Your Landlord, I mean, it's a great idea in the sense that yes, Ed, we could see you.
I know.
Ring around the rosy over there. That's funny.
There you go. Oh my God, this is perfect. Gigi.
Perfect.
8 feet away.
I'm almost the
no
same
way,
height.
Really?
Oh my God, forget it.
Guys are amazing.
All right, let's get Sekou in. Let's have it.
Ed got the magic hat, man. What's up with that?
Welcome.
I forgot my hat.
Sekou, Ed are in the Poconos right now. We had like a big business today, right?
Yeah.
So yeah,
the big business thing. Yeah, sure.
Sure.
We were having meetings on the mountain. That's what we were doing. We were skiing.
Meetings on the mountain like this?
Right.
Yeah.
He was so at skiing, but it's okay.
So we were
I'm a skier.
Nice.
Yeah.
So we were teaching a lot of the new snowboard skiers to commit. They had to commit. Commit.
Are we black diamonds? What we doing?
Oh,
we doing black diamond?
Yeah.
I went on a black diamond yesterday. It was nice, but then the second one we went on, that one just
ice.
I was hot dogging it. Funny enough, they had some good snow.
Yeah, because it snowed the night before. Natural it was great. Yeah,
big time.
Powder.
So, that's one of my goals. One of my goals is every week is to go skiing with the kids in the winter, and that didn't happen. And so now the snow has come down and it's strong. Now I don't want to see any more snow.
Yeah, we're yeah, it's pretty nice.
Oh, give me a second.
Yeah, there you go.
There he is.
Oh.
I don't know what the deal is. All right, connect, camera, select. Oh, what happened was Zoom opened up for some reason and took over my camera. Give me a second.
No problem.
Let me quit Zoom.
I just wanted to remind everyone, I'm going to actually check on my phone, that we talk about the possibility for somebody renting to actually be able to buy, right? That's why we call it Fire Your Landlord, and we're going to give you all the different avenues you can take. Good ideas, right?
Yes.
And actually, we're going to you guys can ask questions. Please feel free to just put in the comment section the questions you may have Even those are not agents. If you are a friend of ours,
Well, you know what? Let's even talk about think about it. So fire your landlord. I mean, think about it.
right.
What does a person have to do to fire their landlord? How much
It's
down
back.
payment do they need to fire their landlord?
Right.
Well,
So let's start with Sekou. Just give us a little idea. That's your thing. We're gonna try to follow along with you.
well, the thing is that like so every single tenant I have ever met in my life, every single one has always talked about saving up enough money or getting out from inside of that rat race of paying somebody else, right? And so if I've ever spoken to anyone who's rented an apartment, I've always asked them, how does your money work? Like, how does your money work for you? How much money do you get back from paying someone else's mortgage? And
Mm-hmm.
the answer is almost always nothing, right? So forgive me, whatever's going on with my camera, I don't know, but I'm still here, and I promise you, I'm gonna
Yeah,
still
we're
keep
hearing you.
talking.
Yeah.
I may have to restart my browser, so if I have to leave and come back, I will. Right. So here's the first step. The first step is, in my opinion, is knowing that you can fire your landlord. Is knowing that you can become an owner. Like there's no issue with becoming an owner.
Yeah.
In New York, especially, we're conditioned to sort of believe that it's better to not have responsibility for our own place.
Right.
If that makes sense, right? It's better to have somebody else shovel your snow. It's better for somebody. Um, my browser's going to shut down on me.
Okay.
So
Restart.
I'll be right back. I swear to goodness.
No
Yeah, I'll be
problem.
right
So
back,
yes.
and we'll go from there.
Yeah. So let's discuss it.
Let's
Because
piggyback on that. Yeah, let's
a lot of
piggyback on what he just said.
misconceptions. Correct. A lot of misconceptions about being able to purchase, and a lot of New Yorkers are, a lot of us are renting. I don't rent anymore. A lot of people are renting, right? And being comfortable into that scenario, and especially if you have a rent stabilized apartment or rent control, which is pretty rare those days, you don't want to. You feel you have a great deal, right? You're like, okay, my rent is not going to go up much. I'm locked in. They can't get me out. What do you think?
Right.
Is that the type of mentality we're seeing? And then there is a down payment question.
Well,
then it's like, maybe I need to save so much money. I don't have it.
But see, okay, so here's what it is, and Sekou kind of mentioned in the beginning. So it's knowing. I feel like it's knowing. It's if you don't know, you could sit there and think about it. You could, because I've gotten this call, right? And Israel, I'm sure you got it. Gigi, I'm sure you get it. You get someone who's interested in purchasing, and they feel that their credit is on point. They feel that they make enough money. They say, I don't have any debt. You know what I mean? And it's like, why shouldn't I be able to qualify for that? But it's those steps. It's trying to figure out, okay, what do I need to qualify?
Yeah.
Yes, I have good credit, but what do you mean by that?
Yeah, I think we got
Right.
Sekou back. Can you hear us?
I can hear you.
There you go. So
can
let's
hear
get back. We were just like brushing on the misconceptions that a lot of people either are very comfortable, either want to stay in the rental, or don't know that they can afford to buy a house.
Well, like I said, man, the first. Yeah, paying rent. How's it been working for you? Knowing, yeah. That's the mindset. So I would say the first step along the lines is mindset. Is either asking the questions or making the statement that I don't want to keep paying someone else's mortgage. I don't want to keep investing in someone else's future and not in my own, right? And so the mindset of ownership in this country, there was something like 95% of all wealth is created based on real estate and holdings and owning, the land that you live on.
Yeah.
That, I mean, you can't argue with those numbers, right? Even if I'm exaggerating some, like 85% or whatever, I don't know what the actual number is. You have to start with, the first step is knowing that you can do it, right? And so in this universe of firing your landlord, if you look at how much you're paying in rent, right? And people are like, I can't afford a mortgage. Well, you're affording someone else's mortgage.
Right.
The reality is, if you're paying rent, you're paying someone else's mortgage.
Right.
And so if that's the case, if you're already affording a mortgage, it may as well be your mortgage.
Right.
Right.
That's a good concept, yeah.
And so in firing your landlord is really only three things that are holding people back from buying, as far as I'm concerned. If you talk to enough people, you'll start hearing this answer over and over again. It's either they're in a long-term lease and they don't feel like they can break it,
Right.
that they don't have the money for a down payment,
Right.
or their credit isn't good. Those are the three things. And if you guys are taking notes out there in the universe, 9 out of 10 times it's just perception that's
Right.
keeping them there. It's not even based on reality. Right? And so I'm getting weird feedback, but that's probably just
Me
on
too.
my end. All right, cool. I hope it's not killing y'all.
No.
I don't hear anything. Yeah.
So what winds up happening for me is if you are an agent that can show the puzzle pieces, you don't even have to solve the puzzle pieces. Just show the puzzle pieces for what they are. What you're doing is you're going to lower the anxiety around buying and getting out from underneath a lease and into your own mortgage and into your own ownership and process, right? And for me, that's all mindset. It's all what's really going on. Decisions based on perception. That's right, Eugene. What winds up happening for me is if you talk to enough people and ask enough questions, and in the case of my universe, I ask questions like a fourth grader, right? But why? But why? But why? But why? Right? So if someone says to me, I want to buy a house or I want to buy an apartment, but I don't think I have enough money to do it. And I'd be like, but why? Like, why wouldn't you think that? Well, I don't have $500,000 for a property. Well, no one gives $500,000 up for a property that they live in. No one, right? Even when they say they do, they don't. And they're like, well, what do you mean? I'm like, they're going to finance it just like everyone else, right? And they're like, well, yeah, but that's expensive, right? I have to come up with like $100,000 in order to, to buy a house. And like Ed is doing, Ed is like shaking his head. No,
Right.
that's when you say, well, let's look at what's holding you back. And if you chunk it down, and that's what I call it, chunking it down, and show them the puzzle pieces, just show them that the puzzle pieces are like those little third grade puzzle pieces where it's like big old pieces. They're not little tiny pieces that they could just put together on their own. That's the first step, man. The first step is just mindset.
So let's try to see about people just look at those puzzle pieces, because for me, there is a lot of in New York, downstate, you're going to buy in Long Island, everybody's going to tell you need 20% down, and prices are really healthy right now. Everything is going on. People want to buy out in the island or upstate, going into Westchester. So how can we debunk this sort of myth, even if it's not always a myth, because you have agents that'll
keep saying it.
Larger down payment.
Yeah. So I think so on the agent side. So I'm gonna talk about this from two different perspectives. I'm gonna talk about it on the agent side, and I'm gonna talk it on the consumer side. Right. I think on the agent side, what we need to do is we need to create a better net. So I'm a jerk when I'm agent to agent. Right? Yeah. So I don't know what's going on. My camera keeps coming in and out. So whatever. We'll deal with that later, right? Okay. I'm a bit of a jerk when it comes down to agent. I have a very, very hefty criteria. I believe that as an agent, okay. Well, we'll just
nice. That's a
camera.
cool view.
Cool.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, we gotta set up a camera behind us.
All right. Even though back of him has knowledge. Look at that.
Well, here we go. I don't know what's going on. It's bugging out on me. It's those Apple Twilight products. Zone. They don't like to work, for me, right? It's those Apple product.
Oh, yeah.
Agent to agent, what I ask for is a network of information and not perception, right? And so when I create relationships with agents, I have a very strict criteria. I only show the most motivated buyers and sellers, right? So I only work with the most motivated buyers and sellers. So if I was to approach you, Gigi, and you were the listing agent, I would be like, what do we need to do to get into a contract? And if you were to tell me that I needed 20% down, I would then challenge you and be like, on what, in what universe? Right? And does that make me a stronger buyer?
Can I really go? I mean, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but what if
No, please.
you know, like you're gonna have this multiple offer, unless you have absolutely no offer, you're a bit overpriced, you got a great property, and you don't have enough of a pool of buyers, an agent bringing those buyers. But let's say you're telling me I don't have 20%, and I already have 5 offers with larger down payments.
Yes.
What
happens?
What happens? You say, cool, you're a great guy, I love your energy, but
yes.
What does it do to my seller?
How many times have you gone over asking and the property didn't appraise and they had to come to the they had to come to the table with more of a down payment?
Well, when we deal with, again, larger down payments, so it's not really an issue. When we're asking, I want to make sure that I get like a larger down payment. 30.
So I understand that. I understand that perfectly. When you go to the closing table and you have to bring an additional $50,000 because you've already have a larger down payment. If I'm already putting 20% down and the property doesn't appraise for another 10%, are you willing to put down another $50,000 to close that property, or would you walk away and go to a different property?
It depends. I mean, I don't know. I've seen where we've been able to resolve that. Either you go halfway with the seller, it takes a little bit of price, but
Right. So you would have to resolve it, right?
Yeah.
But if I was coming to the table with 5% down and I had to come up with an additional 5 or 10% to take me up to 15%, wouldn't that be easier?
If you had that extra money, sure. I mean, I can take the example of myself. When I bought a house, I put and I was able to get the seller to accept it. So yeah, I get your point. You know?
Mrs. Listing Agent, what I'm telling you now is my people are willing to negotiate, and they have a lot more room at 5% than your people at 20%. Your margin changes.
Okay.
I would say that the person that qualifies at 5% is a stronger offer than the person that has to put 20% down to qualify, wouldn't you?
Why?
Well, hold on.
Because they have to go.
No. Let's ask your own question. Why would it be a stronger offer? I mean, if you're telling me those are people that have great income and they cash poor, yes. Yeah.
My people aren't cash poor.
Hmm?
My people aren't cash poor. They're just they're offer intelligent.
Right. And how does it make it stronger?
Because if we have to come up based on the appraisal, who do you think is going to be more willing to come up? My people that is putting down, 5%, or your people that are already putting down 20%?
Yeah, sure. If your people have extra cash and they don't want to use 20%, but elect to use 5% and have this extra money as a buffer just in case, and they're willing to buy a property that the bank want to appraise the price, yeah, why not?
Yeah, so why don't we put in the offer and see what they say? And if they come back, we'll see, we'll see what they say. But here's what I'm willing to do. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to help us get a deal today.
Right. And then
I'm negotiating up.
You start at 5, but you could end up with a little bit more down payment if it makes everybody comfortable, right?
If we have to, yes.
Yeah.
And so for me, so understand this. For me, I am a jerk when it comes down to that. I do not believe in perception. I want to know the real answer. And so part of what happens on the agent side is agents keep doing shit the way that they do shit. They don't do it. Oh, can I curse on this? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to curse.
Sure,
my bad. but they do things the way that they the perception is. They do things based on somebody saying this one time, and it's the way it was in 1970. We only did deals at 20% down and things like that. The stronger loan in this market, the stronger loan is the Fed loan, is Fannie Mae, is the FHA loan. That's a stronger loan than some bank that might go under, or some bank that might want to protect themselves and appraise low.
Right.
And that's just reality. So if it fits inside of FHA, I'm going to encourage them to go with a lower down payment anyway. Right. And if we have to use that as negotiation, we could use it. But then they got a lot more margin than somebody that starts at the top of their down payment. And then they have to come up with another 20%. That's 30% down. That's crazy talk. Right. And so as an owner, what would have to happen with an owner, if the place didn't appraise 99% of the time, and we all know this is true, the owner would have to adjust their price.
Right.
In order to fit into that. If I'm putting 5% down, so that's on the agent side. Hold on 1 second. That's on the agent side. On the consumer side, I'm having the same conversation. Why are you putting so much down? What is the purpose behind it? Is there any room for you to negotiate if you put so much down? If you have to come to the table with more cash, are you going to be able to do that? I would rather you have more cash in reserve than to lay all your cards on the table in the beginning. Does that make sense? Right? And you show them, so you need to have, what you need to have on the consumer side is an educated lender. Right. So on the buyer side, we need to educate the agent so that they're communicating with the seller the right way. And on the consumer side, you need to have an educated lender so they're communicating and alleviating fears. No, there's no problem with 2.5% to 5% down. As a matter of fact, I would want you to do that. This shows, in my opinion, this shows that you are a stronger candidate, that you're smarter, and that you have more wiggle room.
Yes, if you have. I mean, I'm still not convinced as an agent. Maybe if you go with a for sale by owner, try to work your way as a consumer straight to that person, or you have an agent you're working with and they go to a for sale by owner. But if they go into an agent, how are you convincing that agent? Because you have to convince the agent.
Well, the thing is that I just won't work with that agent. And so for me, and so this is as a lead generating agent, right? As a lead generating agent, I have a simple pattern that I follow for all of my clients. If I have a client, I follow this pattern. What do I already have? Who am I already talking to? Then what can I find that's not on the market? And then what does my tribe have? So I'm going to my tribe that knows my business and wants to grow with me. I don't hit the MLS until after that pattern. So who am I already talking to? FSBOs, expires, withdrawals, what's already in my listings, et cetera, in my universe, my team, et cetera. Then what can I go out and find? I'll do a circle prospecting. And I'm going to call in let's say you're a listing agent on 123 Main Street in Wyandanch, right? Well, I'm going to call all around me. I'm going to call around your listing to see if there's more reasonable people in that circle than you as that agent that doesn't want to accept my 5% down.
Oh, right.
First leaving because we didn't want to accept my 5%.
Come on the screen, man. Come on the screen. Right. Yeah. So I want to share with you guys that in this market, it's about being able to meet your customers where they are. Right. So this is my barber. Right. This is my barber who's come to my house to take care of my whole family. Just got a haircut this morning. And as an agent, if we're not willing to meet them where they are, if we're not willing to adjust, what'll happen is that they fall off. I gotta say thank you this morning, man. I love it. No problem. If I'm looking good, it's because of this motherfucker right here. Right. So what I'm saying, Gigi, is yes, there's a dozen agents out there who's still trying to hold on to the way it was. They was trying to hold on to the way it was. What I am asking you to do as an agent is to move the market in a different direction. So if I have all of these buyers that are willing to put 5% down, and that agent is waiting for the 20% down, because I use my system, me find tribe, then what I'm doing is I'm saying that I'm including you in my search. I don't have to. I don't have to put an offer on this property. I'm calling your neighbor. If you have that listing, Gigi, I'm going to call everybody around that listing anyway.
Right.
All of the neighbors, and be like, I have this offer. It's a good offer.
That bitch don't take it. Okay.
That bitch won't take it. So I want to know, did you want this offer?
Thank you for the advertisement. It's
So, I mean, in the retrospect, we're speaking about agents, right? And then how, I mean, I'm sure we have been on this as well. And I'm sure most of them are already complaining about they don't have the time down payment, or they don't want to deal with such a high mortgage. I mean, what's the, I guess, going over the hill on that?
Well, that's where your educated lender comes in, right? That's where the lender that speaks in terms of yield comes in. Instead of, if I'm selling a mortgage, right, and I'm not selling $1 million. I'm selling what your payment is. I mean, and that is in essence what makes them good. Thank you so much, my brother. Thank you. See you in a week. What I'm selling as a mortgage rep is access to money, access to a lifestyle, right? And so if you're already spending $3,000 a month on rent, what's the average rent in the area that you're selling? Right? If you figure out the average rent,
25, yeah.
Yeah, 25. So if 2,500 is between $400,000 and $500,000 in mortgage. There you go. You're already affording $500,000 worth of mortgage. Right? And if that is the case, right? If that is the case, my lender should be like, "Oh, you're already good." Right? You're already good. You can already afford this property. Right? Let me show you how. And then the other two parts of the equation is credit and down payment, right? If we can get your credit up 2 points by doing these simple things, it'll actually take your payment down. If we can get your down payment from 2.5% to 5%, or from 5% to 7%, or from 7% to 10%, it'll do this. That's where a good educated lender comes in.
Right.
Instead of trying to
recommend for someone to go and get some grants to complement their payment, or help them pay for closing costs, if they
if they qualify, I think they should get every single grant that they could possibly get. I think, I had a coach that told me one time, stop trying to count their money.
Right.
And so I'd be like, yeah, but it's like, it's going to cost them so much money. These, like, stop trying to count their money. You'll be surprised where people find money. Right. So if using your example, Gigi, like if I'm at 20% down and I got to come up with another 10%, right? Those people don't usually have another 10% just sitting in reserve.
Right.
It's just not, especially in this market. In this market, the margins are so razor thin that I got what I got, but I don't have too much extra, right? So my family is probably going to give me that extra 10%.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably going to be gifted to me. I'm probably going to, and you can't say you can borrow that down payment money, right? You can't say that, right? So you'll be surprised where people find that money. I'm going to be honest with you. I've known people that have found that extra 5% from loan sharks. I'm not saying to do that.
Wow.
I'm not saying to do that, but that's where the desperation takes them, right? The desperation takes them into skirting the law, Instead, what we do is if we educate the people and we say, hey, listen, you can get a grant, you can do this, you can do that, and you provide them with resources, there is the value of the real estate agent right there. You know, if they're taking notes out there, my favorite thing to say is that as a real estate agent, you are a resource hub. What I'm doing is providing you access to my resources, right? And my resources is time, energy, money, information, and relationships. Those are the resources that I have: time, energy, money, information, and relationships. Right? Money is lending. I'm not giving them my money, so I'm providing them resources by giving them access to money. And that access to money, if my relationships, if my resources are correct, and my lender is powerful enough to be able to say, hey, here's access to more money. Here's access to this. Here's another way you could do your down payment. You know what most agents don't do? Most agents won't introduce a client or customer to a financial planner. What an excellent resource. I'm going to fire my landlord. I may not be able to fire my landlord in 30 days. It may take me 90 days to fire my landlord, or 180 days. That's 6 months to fire my landlord. What if on day 3, I introduce you to a financial planner that instead of 5% down is going to teach you how to save 10%?
Right.
Right? So like that's an excellent resource, in my opinion, along the lines of firing your landlord. If I am showing you how to alleviate the 3 main causes of us staying in a rental, it'll free you forever.
Yeah, because
Most
of us, I'm talking about the population, are not financially savvy and say, oh, let me go find a financial planner. You know, it's not like something you...
Most people think it's too expensive.
Huh?
Most people think it's too expensive. Wait, I'm going to pay somebody to teach me how to save something?
Right.
That doesn't make sense.
And that's for the super rich. That's why they need it. I just have a couple of dollars. Yeah, I get it.
So then question or point number 3 in following your landlord is, who else has done this, right? And so a financial planner is for the super rich. Like, I don't do that. This is that. If we follow the patterns of people who have done it before us, if we follow the patterns of the people who, in essence, we would be emulating by owning our property instead of renting our property, I don't know a rich person that doesn't have a financial planner. Like, to be honest with you, I don't know how to manage. If I gave you $100 million, how would you manage that? You wouldn't know how to do it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, you couldn't even buy enough cars and shoes to even ruin $100 million the right way.
I like shoes.
I started with cars, by the way. I have a feeling you are a car person. But the point is that I couldn't even mess up $100 million the right way.
Right.
I would go crazy, right? And so this is if there's any tenants out there listening, this is a common misconception. Everybody hears, oh, your money's got to make money for you. Your money's got to make money for you. Don't spend money on anything that's not going to make money for you. That's bullshit. Your money is designed to give you a lifestyle. And if your lifestyle is one of enjoying the money that you earn, your money is designed to provide you with the resources that you need so you can enjoy your life. There it is.
Yeah.
That's all it is. And it's a cycle. So if I was to say a simple technique to firing your landlord is learn how to spend your money smarter. Right. Not save your money. Learn how to spend your money smarter. Did you know that credit only works when you're spending money?
Yeah.
Credit doesn't work when you're saving money.
You need right? You need to get those revolving balances. You definitely.
Yeah. The one thing that they never examine on my credit report is how much money I've saved. They never even look at it.
Right.
Isn't there a tab there that said no?
Absolutely right.
No. They never even look at. They don't look at how much money I say. I could have $1 million saved in the bank, and they'll be like, "Yeah, but how are you spending your money?" Right? And so the rich or the wealthy take their money and they spend it wisely, and they show how they spend it, and they're responsible with what they do. So if I want to buy a house, or if I want to buy an apartment, if I want to fire my landlord, one of the most irresponsible ways I could spend my money is by paying rent. I mean, you got to pay your rent. That's not that, like, I don't mean not to do that, right? Unless I'm getting credit, right? Unless they're crediting my rent towards my credit, I'm throwing money out the window. I'm just throwing it out the window. So if it's not building my credit, and there's programs out there that you can use to build your credit using your rent. You got to talk to some of these credit counselors and these financial analysts and planners and things like that. But unless I'm being conscious of how I'm spending my money, then yeah, I'm going to stay in that cycle of just paying somebody else's mortgage. Right. The mindset has to happen first. The ability has to happen next, right? It's either credit, down payment, or long-term lease. You have to have resources that you're sharing with your clients and customers. This is, you know what? If you're standing out there and you're listening to this is why the pro is the real estate agent that you choose is going to be so important. Because it's not just going to be about, oh, I just got a real estate agent and, you know, they're going to find me properties.
Yeah, they need to be able to direct you. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody loves your hat, Ed.
Of course, Ram has great taste.
Ram, I agree though. That's a great hat. So you build a relationship with the realtor that you're working with, and I'm going to say something controversial. None of the realtors out there throw anything at me, please. It's the ones that are for 24 months. And 18 months and 12 months away from buying their house that are the most powerful relationships. The ones that are like, I need a house yesterday are insane. They're insane. There was no planning attached to that. And so everything is based on desperation, and everybody is cutting corners and things like that. So if you can get into a relationship with your real estate agent, and over the course of times, I think 6 months is an excellent amount of time to go from a tenant to an owner. I think 6 months is an awesome amount of time going to be a tenant and an owner. If you want to be on a fast track, if you're purposeful about it, you can do it in 3 months, 90 days to home ownership. Right? But that's purposeful. That's when you are actively trying to find a house now. You're 90 days away from home ownership. Right? So the relationship has to be based on trust. You've got to know the agent. You've got to like the agent. You got to trust the agent. But guess what, tenants? They have to know you, like you, and trust you too.
Right. And I also think that for the agents, it's also important for them to understand what that process feels like. It's like, I know in our leadership always mentioned, if you're not already a homeowner, you're in real estate, you're going to work with buyers, but you don't understand how this process feels to your consumer. Why don't you get qualified by one of our mortgage specialists we really work close with? They'll tell you where you're at in the buying process. Maybe you're not ready yet. Maybe it's going to be a couple of years. Maybe you need to fix this, that, poop, pop, up. And if they're good, they will actually guide you into yourself becoming you did that, right? You started real estate, you were right?
So kind of just touch on that.
Yeah.
I understand here. So to kind of touch.
I tell you what. What's funny is that there was someone who said it. I don't know who said it. It's some genius economist or something like that. They said that the stock market, New York is the only market where a person takes the train in to tell people how to spend their Bentley money, right? It's like they take the subway in to tell people how to spend their Bentley money. Well, real estate seems to be the only market in the world where I can ask you to spend your money on something that I already don't have. Right. Like I don't own my own place and things like that. So
I think it's not doing the right thing to the consumer. At least you need to know if you're not ready to buy yet. And yes, You don't have to be a homeowner to be a real estate agent because, everybody needs to start at some point. But at least know where yourself stand and know what it feels like, what the buyer is going through, all the emotions. Right. It's very.
I will say this.
Right.
The only industry that has more emotion in it than real estate is professional wrestling. Okay, like that's the only industry that has more emotion.
Really up close and personal.
That's why they put most real estate offices on the first floor so that they don't jump out the window.
Yes, you were a wrestler, right?
I was a boxer, right? So,
okay,
so check this out, right? So what I always tell my agents is I don't want you emotionally attached to the deal, right? And so most agents feel like that's the best way to be emotionally attached is to jump in and all of those emotions in it. No. This is a simple technique. So I'm talking to the agents now, right? And if the tenants are out there, the buyers are out there listening, this would be a question that I would ask my agent. And I hope it doesn't disqualify my agents. Once again, don't throw any shoes at me, right? So for all of my agents out there, what I would do is if I'm not doing a deal, I would be practicing a deal.
Mm-hmm.
And the best and easiest way to practice a deal is to act as if you were buying a house yourself.
Yeah.
And all you have to do is find a lender, find all of your resources. A great way to find your resources is to go through the process yourself.
Yeah, that's what I was
right?
Fantastic. I mean, it's the best way to understand.
And so I would call up a lender. I'd be like, listen, I'm thinking about buying a house. I don't know how much I qualify for. Why don't you take me through the pre-qualifying process? You don't even have to tell them that it's a mock deal. Right? It's a lender, right? That's what they should do. They should pre-qualify you. Right. Then you get to the next stage. Tell me how much property I should be looking at. So they're going to look for your finances. Here's where things get really emotional. Most agents don't want the other people in the industry to know that they don't have money or they don't have a deal or they don't have this or they don't have that.
It's very confidential when you're working with a mortgage lender. Nobody's going to your business.
Yeah.
It's like they're not saying anything.
You would recommend this person that you don't trust yourself?
For us, it was fantastic to see like younger agents, newer in the business, being able to attain this American dream where you're going through the process yourself. And in the end, over a course of 6 months or 1 year, you're making yourself ready to be yourself a homeowner. And excitement.
Let me ask you a question, Ed. How did you feel when they told you what you could buy?
Look, to be honest, at the end of the day, I just wanted to buy something. And I think that, and this kind of ties into what you were saying. If you get educated and you realize that you can't buy that mansion that you've been dreaming about, but you could buy this apartment, in my opinion, I was like, I'm going to bite the bullet, make the investment, and then I'll pocket that and buy something else.
Listen, we didn't even see him for 6 months. He was renovating this apartment.
Oh, yeah, I know. I miss him. I miss him. And Ed comes with so much energy on a regular basis, and then all of a sudden you don't have Ed. That's like, you're going through withdrawal, baby. What's up?
They were calling me like, is everything okay? I'm like, yeah, everything's fine. I just got to get this apartment ready.
Shit, I was like, okay, well, that's good. Well, see, the thing is that if you're a skinny chef, I don't trust you, right? If you're a barber with long hair, I don't trust you, right? Yeah. I need to see that you believe in your product. I need to see that, that you, this is going to sound really crazy. I don't know if this goes out in the world, right? But I like good mixed drinks, right? I like great mixed drinks, right? I am a snob when it comes down to mixed drinks, right? And so if I go to a bar and I ask for an old fashioned and I see them making it wrong, I'll be like, you don't like old fashions, you don't like whiskey, like you're not, and you can tell who doesn't know how to do the kind of drink that you like. I'm not going to drink it. I mean, you just muddled oranges at the bottom of that thing. What the hell are you doing?
Right.
What kind of drink is that? You just ruined that whiskey.
Just
right.
Love, yeah, it tastes better. It's true. Sure.
You know, so as a real estate agent, don't fuck up the drink. so yeah, go through the process. Look, it's as simple. Sometimes it doesn't even have to be that complicated. Sometimes just read the fucking contract. That's all. Like as a consumer, if the first time you're reading the contract is with me, I'm thinking I made a huge mistake working with you.
Right.
Right. And so if we're taking them and firing their landlord, if we're taking them from renting and throwing their money away, and we're giving them the greatest financial stability that they could possibly have, we're creating a financial future for them and their family and whatever it is. We're leveraging anything that they are doing against $500,000, 750 or whatever the numbers are. Then they need to know these two words that we are absolutely certain. I don't have to be smarter. I don't have to have more information. All I have to do is be absolutely certain that I have the resources available to get the answers you need. That toolbox that we talked about. I have to have the toolbox open to get them the answers they need. Oh, you want to know about FHA loans versus a conventional loan? Hold on a second. Here's this person that does FHA loans all day long.
Yeah.
It's like it's like Dr. Pyle in real estate. You're just kind of pointing everybody to the next. It's
but
a connecting link.
You don't have to be the one being the expert. Direct them to the expert, but you have to know who the sides are. Yeah.
There is a saying: "Don't be the hero, be the guide."
Yeah.
Right. Don't be the hero, be the guide. And the reality is that the guide is the one that everybody remembers. Like Luke Skywalker is cool, but everybody loved Obi-Wan. Everybody loves Yoda. Right? Yeah. The guide is the one that they remember.
Baby Yoda.
R2D2.
Baby Yoda especially. R2D2. See, like, yeah, Luke, he was kind of a whiny little bastard, right? Like if you think about it. I don't know my dad. Everybody else was like, be cool. It's all right. I got you. Han Solo was the star of that flick, and nobody knew it.
Yeah. That's true.
Right? It's okay, kid. I got you. Be the guide, not the hero. Thank you. Don't funk the drink. There you go. Don't funk the drink. So it's a lot that went on. There's a lot of information that got passed. I would say first step is mindset. First step in all of this stuff is mindset. Agent and customer and client. Just know that you can do it. On both sides, you can do it. Right? Having the resources and sharing the resources is going to be the second most important step.
Yeah.
It is not knowing things, but it is having access to. Right? It's having access to time, energy, money, relationships, and information. I've got access to it. If I could speak to my agents for a quick second, you as a new agent on your worst day has access to more tools and information than the best amateur on their best day.
Right.
Okay? That's just a reality, right? And then if you take them through the steps and you're willing to guide them, if you're willing to learn, if you're willing to, I like to use the term customize the experience for them. If you're willing to shut up and listen and customize the experience for them, be a know-nothing agent and just, you want to, and just have them know you, like you, trust you, right? You're practicing. What I talk about with Israel all the time is embracing our imperfections.
Yes.
If we know that we don't know, instead of trying to show that we don't know, right? If we know that we don't know, then we're practicing and we're filling in the blank spots as they're coming up. All we're doing is we're going to help to create a solid foundation for each one of these people to stop throwing money out the window. Just stop throwing the money out the window, right? And then the other thing is be patient. You don't want a today deal. You don't want your first-time buyer. You don't want that to be an emergency. Right? Desperation leads to all kinds of complications, right?
A whole bunch of
Confusion.
stuff.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So we're emotionally detached.
Yeah.
So you know what I hear when I hear somebody say I need to do something now? I hear insanity. I hear insanity. I hear it. That's what comes up for me. I'm like, well, why'd you wait until right now to do this? Like, what happened? Right? I'm gonna stop and ask more questions.
Right.
Now, I'm still going to help. I'm not telling you to turn away today business. I'm just saying that is not your sweet spot. Your sweet spot, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, sweet spot.
So you realize you're going against what a lot of coaches actually.
Yeah.
They tell you, work only with buys that are ready within the next 30 days. 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's insanity.
Okay.
That's, you know what that is? That
Yeah.
and I'm going to be honest with you. So a lot of coaches, and forgive me if I'm shitting on somebody else's coaching technique, but a lot of coaches are desperate to get you to produce now because that's going to show their value. I got to show you that I'm worthwhile.
And justify their check. I get it.
Right. I don't give a shit about that.
Yeah.
Right. So my goal is to make sure that we are the best in the world, and the best in the world is never desperate. Right. Never desperate. You know me, you like me, you trust me, means that as an agent, I'm going to set up your business for the next 5 years.
Wow.
You know, I'm not like tomorrow is good. If you have somebody that you find tomorrow, of a scale of 100, right? Out of 100, 99 or 90% of them are going to be no anyway, right? 7% is going to be you're not yet. That's your sweet spot. That's your pipeline. That's 5 years worth of business is that 7%. It's that 1 to 3% that needs something now. Even if you close them now, it's only money now. It's gone.
Yeah.
It's gone. And if you know, like I know, most people don't know how to spend their money. So they get a $10,000 check. That's already spent.
So what would you advise? We have only a few minutes left. What would you advise somebody who's looking to purchase and want to use an agent, since we're talking about the agents being there, the guide? Is there a type of interview they should conduct? What is the key that is going to basically make that prospective buyer like say, okay, that's my guy, that's my girl. I know she's going to do the right thing.
I would start with this. If your agent doesn't have any minimum standards, I probably wouldn't work with them.
Okay.
If the agent doesn't have any standards for who they work with, then that's my first indication that they're probably not the right agent for me. Right. So if you think about what you like to do, right? If you go to a 5-star restaurant, right? If you go to a 5-star restaurant and there are no minimums to get in, if you don't have to set what do they call it? A reservation.
Right.
If you have to wait 2 hours for a table, but the place is filled with people with no shirt and no shoes on, right? Like there's no minimums in order to get in the door. Chances are, I ain't a 5-star restaurant. I don't want to eat there.
What are those minimums you're mentioning? That I'm just playing that dumb, like, because I've seen a lot of agents. They get their license, and you just start working with buyers with no guidance. You're like, go to get your pre-approval, get your proof of funds, and that's it.
Watch this. Let me show you. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this really quickly, right? Let me show you how I run my business. Gigi, the first thing that we're gonna do is I'm gonna have you talk to one of my lenders. They're gonna qualify you for your buying power, and they're gonna call me to set an appointment for you to have a buyer consultation with me. After they call me to set a buyer consultation appointment with you, what I'm gonna do is, based on their criteria, I'm going to send you everything on the market that matches your criteria. And I'm going to ask you to narrow it down to the top 5 or 10 listings. You think you could do that for me? Then once you narrow it down to your top 5 or 10 listings, I'm going to ask you to put them in prioritized order, from the one you like the most to the one that you like the most least. La. We'll laugh a little bit, right? And then once we decide on those, we're going to go out and see the 3 best properties on the market. I'm going to ask you to put in an offer on every property we see, since they're going to fall in your value range. Is there anything that could stop you from putting in an offer when we see it? Right. So readiness
or not.
Right. And so I'm setting an expectation, by me setting an expectation, those are my minimums. If you tell me, well, I'm going to need to see more properties, I don't want to work with you.
Right.
Like little minimums like that. I have my own lender. I understand you have your own lender. That makes perfect sense to me. And I'm glad you have somebody and you could still use them. I'm going to have my lender call you up and qualify either your lender or qualify you for your value because I don't know your lender.
Right. Right.
Right? I got to know your lender. I have to know that they know the business. I have to trust their results. You could still use them if you want to, but this lender that I'm about to have call you knows my business, is serious about their stuff, and I trust their word.
Right.
Well, no, I don't want to talk to another lender. That's fine.
Mainly a listing agent. I've been calling. I regularly call mortgage guys I don't know. Just want to feel like, what business are you? What is that? Never heard of you. How do you qualify them? Your letter looks kind of suspect.
What is that? That's some bullshit.
Yeah.
No, I'm serious. I'm like, oh, they qualify for just the amount that we have on the paper. Come on, that's bullshit. So I'll be honest with you, Ed and Gigi and Iz. When I work with a lender, there's three things that has to happen. Any vendor that I work with, any vendor that I work with has to have three. For the tenants out there, for the people who are looking to buy, this is probably the most valuable thing that I could say to you. The people that I work with have to be highly regarded in the industry. That's by their peers, by their competition. I need to know what your people, if you own the company, I need to know what your employees think of you, right? Who are you accountable to, right? Number two, you have to be highly reviewed by your customers and clients. What do your customers say about you? How easy is it to talk to you? Do you answer your phone? Do you call back? Is it what you said it was going to be? And then you have to be highly referred by my peers. Who do I know that knows you? Who can vouch for you? Right? Those three things have to be present. Now, I know what you're saying, new title reps or new lenders that don't have the relationships yet. So the real key indicator is that if you don't have one of these three things, then you need to kill yourself to show it. You have to provide me with such service that I'm like, holy shit. And this is before we get into business together.
So it has a strong compensating factor. Like if you don't have two of them, have to be really high.
Yes. You've got to. I'll give you guys a hint, right? And so I'll say titles so that I don't offend any mortgage people or anything like that. I better get inundated by telephone calls, emails, and texts from you. I got to see that you're willing to work as hard for my leads as I was for my leads.
Yes, sir.
Right? It's just like that.
Right. Yeah, so we have a few minutes, just 3 minutes left. I don't want to bore everybody with our life because 1 hour is pretty long. In closing, we're dancing. What do you want? Because we covered a lot of things. In conclusion, let's wrap up and just address to the prospective buyers, to those tenants who want to fire their landlord.
I'll do an in conclusion for the tenants and for the agents. In conclusion for the tenants.
Yes.
In conclusion for the tenants, you should be looking to get inside of professional real estate agents' databases. Do whatever you can to get inside of those agents' databases. Participate with their business, participate with their lives and their lifestyles. Try to find someone who's willing to allow you, because a database is valuable. So you should be doing whatever you can to get inside of their database. And I'll give you a hint.
We're not talking about Zillow. We're not talking about Zillow. I know we're not.
No.
Yeah, no. I'm talking about their database, meaning belly to belly communication. That's the best. The best thing that can happen is that you have access to an agent to the point where if you hear someone say, I'm thinking about buying a place, you're just like, I got a guy for you. I got a gal for you. It's that immediate. And as the agent, I'm going to tell you this right now. The in conclusion, you better be so adamant about following up with your database that it is like a carnival ride, that people will stand online for hours to be a part of your database.
Yeah.
It's got to be that chunky, juicy, that they will stand online for hours to be a part of your database. Infiltrate. Yeah. Liz.
Yeah.
Angie, what's up?
All the things, good, great stuff. Angie, love the interaction, especially from the listing agent perspective. Thanks for keeping it real, everyone. Thanks, Sekou, for sharing all the information. Fire the landlord.
Wow.
Boom, boom, boom.
Yes, this is great. And then for the tenants that want to fire them, what do you have to?
Well, for the tenants that fire your landlord, if you're inside of the agent's database, what you should be looking for, an agent that is not necessarily information overload. You want action overload. You want somebody to be like, hey, do this, get this result. Do this, get this result. So you want to work with an agent that's going to listen to what you're asking, that's going to listen to your questions, and that's going to pose really great questions back to you. Right? You, in my opinion, you don't want a know-it-all agent. You want an agent that's going to customize the scenario for you, and it's going to be like, okay, so you're looking to buy a property. How soon are you looking to buy a property?
We've been raised to know it all. You know that, Sekou.
Yeah, I know, and look how far it's gotten us. All we do is argue about shit.
Let's wrap up with the agent perspective here. What nuggets can we give everybody out there?
All right, so I have a very simple philosophy, and if you're around me enough, you hear me say it all the time. As an agent, you need to make a mess. Stop trying to be perfect.
You're right.
You need to make a mess. You need to go out there. Yep. Just make a mess.
Do it.
Clean up the progress. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
If you wait till you're perfect, I'm going to pass you 9 times over, okay? I do 300 transactions a year making a mess and not knowing shit versus the agent that knows everything and does 4 transactions a year because they've got all of this information. So
that's right.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me. Please invite me back. I hope I didn't talk too much.
Definitely.
You did awesome.
Absolutely.
Brother. Thank
Later,
you.
Guys.
Have
You're
a good
just
Friday.
amazing. Thank you.
Everybody
so
have
much.
a great
putting up with my
afternoon.
camera stuff too.
It's okay. It's okay.
Of course.
Of technology. All right, guys. Bye. All right.
That was awesome.
For something else, there's going to be a surprise. All right. Stay tuned.
That's right.
Bye.
Stay tuned.